Hello, my name is Marko Matoshevich and I am Dungeon Master for this evening. This is a one-shot called the Blacksmith competition, and we've got two combatants today, Goatman92 and Puddles. Now, this podcast is sponsored by markham3d.com, so please go over there, check it out, and also subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Cool.
So as you guys travel on, the rest of the journey's pretty quiet. You start coming at nightfall, you start coming up onto Chisholm Castle. You've got some houses coming up and it starts to become more condensed. You see shops, you see a few taverns, and there's a lot more patrons in there now. And you can see the giant wall and the gates. As you guys are approaching the castle walls, is there anything you want to do, or are you just going to stay tight with Malcolm?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm riding the cart. Does this castle look like, is it another sort of city? Is it older or same as where we came from?
You know that this place is Chisholm Castle. It's the pimp nizzle. It's schmick. It's clean. There's plenty of guards. As you approach the gates, you got the portcullis half up, so it's not fully up and it's not fully down. It's kind of just half up. The gates are open. It is starting to get quite dark now.
Yeah, okay.
So, as you're approaching, you can see that there's festivities on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Can I roll insight on Malcolm?
Sure.
Does he seem, that's a 20, does he seem nervous, or is he relieved that he's here, or is he sort of like, okay, like, how's he feeling right now?
He is pretty pumped. He's very happy that he's here. He's finally got here. And he kind of you can tell that he just kind of wants to get in the castle.
Yep. Are we still moving at this point?
Yes. So you get up to the front gate and the guard stops and he says, "Where are your invitations?" Malcolm goes, "It's an eight. No. Look, I've got this for the competition for the king." And the guards, he's not having a bar of it. He doesn't believe him. You can visibly see that he's gutted, that Malcolm's gutted, and he's pleading with this guy. It's like, "Come on, please, you got to let me in. I've got this. This is part of the competition."
Can I pull out 12 gold pieces that I happen to have on my person and just sort of, flick one of them up with my thumb and just sort of give him a bit of a half grin smile thing at the guard?
So
don't really say. So I was going to give him all 12.
Okay.
And just like a bit of a grin. Don't have to say anything, but a persuasion. Like, he knows what I mean. He knows what I'm asking.
Do a persuasion, performance. What are we going to do?
No, they're both the same for me.
Do a persuasion check for me.
13.
He looks at you, and he kind of looks over at his guard friend sideways, and he's kind of a little bit dubious, but he kind of walks over, leans in and has a look in the wagon, and as he turns back around, he grabs the bag and he waves you in.
And then I look at Malcolm, and I look at Yorick, and I just nod, and then we keep going.
There's a big sigh, not a sigh, a big moment of relief on Malcolm, and you can see him just mouth to you a thank you. So as you guys enter, You can see that there's lots of lanterns. There's lots of people about. The markets are still open. There's a lot of drinks going on. There's a lot of food being served. The wagon, Malcolm just takes the wagon just to the side, parks it. He gets out with the box and he's holding the box. Is there anything you guys want to do now?
I want to ask Malcolm, like, what's going on? Like, what's the festivities?
He goes on and he tells you every year there is a competition with one blacksmith from each of the neighboring cities to bring a weapon or something to the king as kind of like a tribute. And what happens is if the city or the blacksmith shop wins, then there's so many benefits for the entire city. So that's why it's very important that we put our best entries in to try and win this honor.
I think you'll do pretty good with that thing that you got there.
Whoa, do you think so?
Sure. And I pat him on the back, and I'm like, I'm gonna go find a drink. I sort of wander off.
All right. So as you wander off, Malcolm's still kind of unsure what to do. He kind of just stands there and he's just guarding this box. Yorick, what do you want to do, buddy?
Well, I think Yorick just goes over to Malcolm and he says, "Let me have a look at that short sword again."
And he kind of
Definitely...
he kind of retracts at that, and he kind of retracts at it and says, "No, yeah, you can't touch it. It's not going to work. You can't touch it."
All right. So at that point, Yorick just his hand goes into his robe.
Yep.
And then he pulls out this gem, this big ruby, and then he shows it to Malcolm, and he says, "This is my pride and joy. Well, part of it. I once made out of a mountain of gold an entire dragon, and it flew and ran away from me. This was a part of its eye. Can you see how I slaved and crafted over this piece of rock? Now, as fellow craftsmen, 'tis only fair that I ask that you see what I've crafted, and I ask to see what you've crafted."
He leans into you and says, "If you touch it, you will die, not by me, but by the sword."
All right, so what does Malcolm look like? Like,
you could tell that he used to
not...
be a blacksmith, he used to be a blacksmith back in the day. I mean, kind of like picture Hulk Hogan in his older days where the muscles are starting to like sag a little bit. He does have the grey hairs. He does have kind of like the grey beardish, but he's still very well kept. You wouldn't pick him as a fighter or like a barbarian or any of those kind of classes. He's just a human that's a little bit more well built, would be the best way to put it.
Okay, well,
And at this point, you see him kind of like backing away from you.
all right. So when he said that the sword would kill me, does it look like he might be exaggerating? Is he lying to me, or does he seem scared? Like that's actually what's going to happen?
Do an insight check.
Right. Oh, I actually have something on insight. Okay. I got a 21. Oh shit, that's a crit. Holy damn.
So it's not the fact that he's fearful. You know that he's telling the truth, but he is hiding. He's told you everything he's told you is correct, but there's an undertone to it. He's not pointing out he's the one that'll kill you.
Okay. So at that point, I just kind of grab the front of his shirt and then pull him down to my height. And he says, Malcolm, the king's going to want to touch this. What do you mean the blade's going to kill?
And he looks at you and says, the sword is for the king.
Malcolm, this had best not turn into some misguided attempt at regicide. Answer me, you daft old man.
He looks around and you see plenty of guards. And you can see him pause and he tries to think of the correct words here. And he looks down at you as he kind of brushes himself off from you. And he says, this should be my kingdom.
And it's your kingdom to crumble. We're done here. So York just kind of walks away and tries to find Roderick.
You hear from behind as you walk off, he says, I haven't signed your contract off.
No contract is worth this much trouble.
Anyway, so I waltz over and I've got like
Mhm.
a drink in both hands and I'm like, I'm not wrecked, but I'm feeling pretty good. We've just traveled all this way. And I sort of walk past Yorick and I'm like, hey, buddy. And I walk up to Malcolm and I'm like, look, I think it's about time we finalize what needs to be done here. And I sort of look at him, you know what I mean?
Right.
He asks,
Well,
sorry, go.
all right, go ahead.
Okay. So can I get you both to do a perception check for me?
How was it?
I got a 1. I might be a little bit more than.
Oh, come on! Really? You give me just enough so that my total is a 1. Fucking. I either roll really high or really low in this fucking game. What the?
You see a face of terror and anger come over Malcolm. He's almost turns to rage as he's not looking at you, he's looking through you.
At or through
the both of you.
Oh, right.
Now, Yorick, you got your mic muted, just to let you know. What do you want to do, Roderick?
So I sort of like, you can't really see my face, but I'm sort of like, and I sort of like look back in the direction that he's sort of looking at. I look at Yorick and I look back at him and I sort of like, what's up?
So as you turn around, you see the same guy that was in his blacksmith. He's just rocked up. And he's got a box.
Has he got a box? Yes, he's got
Yes.
a box, doesn't he?
And you see Malcolm kind of storms through you two, pushing you both aside. And he storms up to this bloke. And you can hear him going, what are you doing here? Oh, well, I got an invitation. No, you don't. I got the invitation. Yes, well, It's amazing what you can do when you got sticky fingers. How dare you?
Anyway, I've sort of followed Malcolm. Like I was sort of like, whoa, what's going on here? So I'm up behind him, and then I sort of put one drink on the ground, and while I'm assuming they're in each other's face.
Yep.
I like look, sort of tilt my head a bit into what's the other dude wearing?
The other dude he's wearing a more formal attire than
Right.
Malcolm is.
So I sort of look for a pocket kind of thing. Do I see any pockets? Do I see any bags?
Yeah, the other guy's got pockets as well. He's holding a smaller box.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the size of Malcolm's box. It's a bit of a smaller box, and you can see him holding that. But he's just strolled in by himself.
Right. Well, while they're arguing, I just want to see if I can reach in and do a sleight of hand and try and find a piece of parchment.
Yep.
If that's okay.
Yeah, do it.
1.
The other guy, he grabs your hand as you go for his pockets. He goes, "What do you think you're doing there?"
I drop my drink and I point it, and sort of like he's got my wrist, and I sort of point down at the drink on the ground.
Can you do
Persuasion.
persuasion?
19.
19. And he kind of he pushes your arm away with a bit of force and lets go. And he begins to walk off towards the castle. Malcolm follows him behind, having words with him, but the other guy's just not having a bar of it.
Well, so Malcolm's over there trying to, I don't know, have a fight or something.
Well, he's trying to work out how'd this guy get it.
Okay, so like, Roderick is over. I guess he's being pulled over by one of the guards.
No, so Roderick's with where Malcolm and the other guy were, and they've kind of just started walking off.
All right, so I assume like the guards just moved along, or is he still there?
The guards, they're away from the guards altogether. So who grabbed him was the other guy grabbed Roderick's hand. So I don't know if you missed that bit.
Oh, I thought it was the guards that
No,
got.
no,
Okay.
because he tried to pickpocket a pocket, but he
And I
failed.
rolled a 1. But then I tricked him because I put a drink on the ground, and I said, I was just going for the drink that I put on the ground.
All right. So at this point, York just kind of squeezes in between these two guys, and then like he kind of puts his hand up on to keep them apart, and he says, "Roderick, it's time to go. This job just got sour."
So you put it in between Malcolm and the other guy, or
Yeah, Malcolm and the other guy.
the other guy just kind of just walks around here. He just keeps going.
Are there people like? Is it pretty busy where we are?
It is pretty busy where you are.
Are there people walking past? Like, I assume we're in like a square or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's no scene at the moment. And from what you gather, just up ahead is kind of like the King's Hall is where they're going.
Well, we're already in, so it doesn't really matter about the invitations, I guess. Well, I said to Malcolm, I go, look, are we going to deliver this box? Or like present? Or
that's
like,
what I'm going. I got to get here. I got to get there before him. And they kind of like, they start speed walking together.
I'm sort of running behind them with my drinks.
And Malcolm's like throwing words of abuse at him, but the other guy's just not taking it.
Can I ankle tap this other guy?
Okay. A dexterity check.
Right before that, York's just kind of yank Roderick's hand, and he says, "Just let this go. This is not worth it.
But
What
we've
do you-
come
Neither
so
of us have
far.
taken this.
Let me just
You know,
get our piece of paper, and then we can go. How's that?
it's not worth it, mate. It's not worth it.
What do you-
All right.
What are you gonna do, Roderick?
That sword.
So I tell him, I go, look, if you want to head back, I can meet you back on the road and sort you out. But if you don't want to hang around, that's fine. But I'm getting my tax money.
So at this point, like he really clamps hard, and then he tries to pull Roderick down so that like he can see eye to eye.
Do you allow
don't
him,
get
Roderick?
Human.
I sort of let him,
Okay.
but like the look on my face is I couldn't care less.
Okay. What do you want to say, Yorick?
You don't get it, human. He's not trying to win anything. He's going to try to kill the king. And if you're here and I'm here with it, it's going to be a whole mess of trouble with us. Tax money be damned. Now let's get to the road before all this trouble catches up to us.
Okay. I'll
So
go.
You stay
So
put?
oh well, I assume. So I agree, and I assume we start walking back towards like the gate.
Yes. Okay. So you guys, as you look back one last time, you can see Malcolm and the other guy enter the King's Hall. And you guys turn around, walk out the main gate.
And then I turn around and run back.
Damn
So
it, you daft human!
No, but I want to roll stealth.
You want to roll stealth in the
Yeah.
marketplace?
No, like stealth on Yorick.
Oh,
That
okay.
I sort of because like I'm sort of walking behind him and he thinks I'm following him, but then I turn around and
Fuck, you don't
run back off.
don't
All
need
right.
to
Can you
stealth.
do,
I can see, like, I have mud in my eyes. I can't see anything.
can you do a stealth check for me, Roderick? And Yarek, do a not an investigation, a perception with advantage.
Okay. That's a nat 20.
I wonder if I'll roll a 1 and a 2.
With a 5 on top.
So Yorick keeps walking, rambling off to himself. Roderick, you're gone.
I get an 11 and a 13.
He rolled a nat 20.
Oh. Hey.
So I've like legged it back towards Malcolm and like back up the stairs.
Damn it.
You're back up. And
So
I'm
I'm trying to catch up to them before they actually get into the main hall.
they've already gotten to the main hall. You've gotten to the front door, and you see there's a few people about. You can see like kind of like the high society people. There's a few guards about, and they've already approached the king. And you hear
Right.
Malcolm say, "I represent Reed," and then the other guy goes, "No, I represent Reed."
And then I run in and I sort of assuming everyone's focused on these guys.
Yep.
And I mean I've obviously got in there at some point, so they know I'm okay. Now I've sort of wrapped up one of my mugs in like some cloth so it looks like a package.
Yep.
And I run in and go, "No, I represent Reed."
And you just kind of hear this whole gasp from everyone as they all turn around. Malcolm and the other guy turn around, look at you like, what? What?
And then I'm like, "But I want Malcolm to do the honors." And then I give him my package.
Yeah.
And sort of sit it on top of his, and then I whisper it to him and say, "Can I please have my contract?"
He turns and whispers to you and says, "I might need you in a sec."
and I sort of go like look at him and then look around, and I'm like, okay, and then I just stand there.
So Malcolm walks up to the king and opens up the case, and the other guy walks up to the king and opens up his case as well. So they're both kind of like kneeling in front of the king with the cases open. And you can see the king's kind of like looking backwards and forths between the cases. They are both delightful weapons, and I'm most honored that you've been able to craft such wonderful things. But who represents Reed? Can anyone tell me?
I don't say anything. I sort of look at the other guys.
They both look at each other, and they at the same time they both say, "I represent Reed." Both at the same time, and the king says, "Oh, this is a conundrum. Fight to the death." So, York, are you still on mute, or can you hear me?
He sent a message. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, he's
He
back.
said he's back.
What, Yorick, what are you going to
Yeah,
do now? You've realized that Roderick is now gone. He's no longer next to you.
All right. I'm gonna curse eloquently for about 45 seconds, and then I'm gonna try and find him.
All right.
It's actually worked out really well.
Do you want to do a perception check for me to see if you can see, or an investigation, either or?
Investigation actually has better odds.
Yep.
Let's see. I got a 14.
As you kind of turn around and you look, you kind of see just in the distance, you see his cloak enter the main hall there, far off into the distance. What do you want to do? Do you want to let him be, or off you go?
I'm gonna run after him.
You're gonna run after him
into the Great Hall. Yep.
So the king has said to Malcolm and the other guy, just fight to the death or something. And so what are you going to do, Roderick?
Well, I'm sort of sitting up next to the king at this stage. I've got another drink as well.
So
and I'm like...
You've moved up near them as well. So as they're nearly in front of the king, you're standing behind him with a drink.
I've sort of moved away from them, like to standing sideways with the king on my left and the two guys down on the ground, and I'm like looking at the king and looking at these guys, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And just sort of waiting for their response to his request.
Malcolm looks at you and says, "Do it."
Looks at me.
Yes.
And I sort of jerk my head forward. I'm like, "Do what?"
In that moment, he's kind of gotten up. He's closed the box, and he's tucked it under his left arm, and he's gone for just like a swing. Malcolm's gone for a swing to punch the other guy. And oh wow, he hits. Oh, you jerk. He hits and just knocks this guy good, and he stumbles back and he gets up. Let's roll for initiative.
Oh, also, just before Yorick gets to the main hall,
Yep.
he tries to send a message just because he knows
Oh yeah.
Roderick is probably in the Great Hall, right? And he says, "Don't let the king touch the sword."
And I sort of hear that, and I'm like, man, these voices are weird.
Mhm.
But I take it on board.
Okay, what's your role for initiative?
Sorry. 19.
19, so you're there. That's Rod and Yarrick. Yarrick.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, so you're
I'm
kind
the
of
last
at this
one in.
point. You get to the edge of the castle, the edge of the hall. So you're still outside, but that's where you are.
All right. Oh damn. I've got an 8.
8, so you're down. So the other guy, you see, he drops his box, gets the weapon out, and he goes to stab Malcolm. And Malcolm's just able just to get to the side just a little bit as he just misses just by the slither. So it like kind of like connects his coat. But it doesn't take any damage. Roderick.
Excuse me. Oh boy. Okay. I want to. So, how far is Malcolm from me? Is he still pretty much there?
Malcolm's, yeah, he's within range. He's within like 10, 15 feet. The other guy's 10, 15 feet.
Okay.
The king's like 10 feet. Somehow
Um,
you've gotten up there and the guards are like, why is this guy here?
Okay. So I'll. I'm just gonna roll for myself to make a decision here. Okay. I go for a kick to kick the box out of Malcolm's hand. Is he still holding the box?
He's still holding the box, yes.
Yeah, so I want to go kick the box out of his hand.
Okay, do a. Whoa. Let's do athletics. Strength, no, acrobatics.
Damn, okay.
No, let's do athletics. Let's do athletics.
Yes, okay. 20, natural 20 with a 5 on top.
So you've kind of done 1 step, 2 step, and kicked the box on the corner, and it's kind of like skidded out from under his arm and kind of spun around and onto the marble floor and kind of just spun away an extra like 15, 20 feet. Malcolm's looked at you. He disengages from yourself and the other guy, which gives an opportunity of attack. Do you attack him?
I don't take the opportunity.
Okay, the other guy will, and he hits. Oof, oof. And as Malcolm turns, he gets just like a swift punch into the back of the head, but he makes his way over to the box and kind of like dives on it and gets back up holding this box.
So the sword
York.
didn't come out of the box?
No, the sword didn't come
Okay.
out of the box. Yorick, so you're about 60 feet away, and you can see these people have kind of like blocking your view now as they kind of come around.
All right. So I'm just gonna. So I guess the guys are fighting somewhere in the middle, like next, like in front of the throne room, and
Yes, so they're about 60
crowd
feet
forming.
away.
All right. So I'm just gonna try to move forward until I can see, like, who's fighting who.
So as you get in, you're about 30 feet away. You can kind of see that there's still people in front of you and behind you and around. As kind of like everyone's just kind of, when there's a fight, they get around you. They get around the people fighting to like egg them on. The other guy chases Malcolm down and tries to stab him again, but he hits the box and nothing happens. Roderick.
Where's my thing? Okay. I try and knock the box out of his hand again.
Yep. Do strength athletics again.
12.
12. Well, let's see if he holds onto it. He holds onto it. So you kick him and he kind of just spins around a little bit, but he's still holding the box. Malcolm uses the box as a weapon against the other guy. He rolls a nat 20 and just kind of like clobbers this dude right across the face. And you can hear that bone crunching as the neck twists. And the guy kind of just like falls to the ground, screaming in pain. Yarick.
All right. So, like seeing that, I'm gonna move a little bit closer
Yep.
so that I have a clear shot, and then I'm just gonna use. Can I try like, if I try to do Mage Hand, would I be able to like rip that box from Malcolm's hand?
There's a weight limit to Mage Hand. What is it? It's
10
kind of like
pounds.
10 pounds. I would say this box is more than 10 pounds because that's 2.5 kilos. So yeah, that's probably more than 10 pounds.
All right. Well, I think. Well, shit. Crap, I don't have a lot of options. All my spells are all offensive. Fuck it. Alright. So, I'm gonna use Scorching Ray on Malcolm.
What does that do?
Basically, it says I create 3 rays of fire and hurl them at targets within range. No idea what rays of fire mean, or that you could hurl them. Anyway,
Probably.
they're basically kind of like a magic missile, 3 each, and I have to roll for each one.
Yeah, sweet. Roll to hit then. And you're specifically aiming for Malcolm?
Oh, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah. So 19, 14, yes. 17.
Does he need to make... Nope. They're all hits.
Nope. It's just a ranged attack spell.
Yeah. So they're all hits. Do you want to roll your damage?
So should I just roll all of them? Just to be real quick? But what the hell? Total damage 25.
25.
Yeah, so just imagine something like laser sunbeam going in like zoom, all across his face.
Yeah. As the first one hits, you can see him in agony. The second one, you can see him start convulsing, and third one, just the head explodes, and the box topples to the ground, and his body just falls down.
Wait, this is Malcolm's head.
Yeah, it's Malcolm's head. Oh yes, that's rather interesting then. I just wanted one, not both of them dead, but oh well. And the king goes over and stands up and he kind of kicks the other guy. And the other guy's like just moans a little bit. And he's like, oh, okay, he's fine. Bring me both boxes. Let's have a look at them.
All right. So at this point, like Yorick just kind of yells out with his hand stretched out and says, "Wait, Your kingliness.
Step forward.
Malcolm's just all right. So Yorick kind of steps forward, and then he grabs the box
Mhm.
and very very carefully, and he says, "This one here," and he points to Malcolm, "aims to have you murdered, sir. This blade would have killed you the moment you touched it."
The king kind of just huffs. I am the king. Do you think I know better?
I wouldn't know, sir. Kings I knows were all dwarven. Humans are beyond my ken.
Um, the king picks up the dagger that the other guy had. He's like, yes, this is a fine weapon. Yes. Show me the other one. Bring it to me.
All right. Well, he kind of like flips the box so that it would open in front of the king.
Yep.
And he shows the sword.
You see the sword is no longer red, but blue. That central canister.
Right.
Oh, well, that's new.
The,
Can I hold on? Is
Yep.
shit? I don't have it. All right. Well, I got nothing.
You can see that the king's mesmerized by the blue. And as he walks over to it, you can see that that canister's kind of moving a lot more irrationally, and it's kind of it's almost like vibrating on the sword as he's getting closer and closer to it.
All right. So, like, as soon as he tries to get close,
Yep.
Yarick just kind of closes down the box. And he
Here we
says,
go again. With the closing of the box. Why does everyone have to close this box?
You can see that the king's kind of like hypnotic trance has kind of ended, and he's back to reality.
"As you can see, Your Majesty, this is no ordinary sword.
That is
As
right.
a blacksmith, a dwarven blacksmith, we've dealt with all kinds of weapons. This is something we don't dare craft."
Well then. Oh, well then. Touch it. Tell me its secrets then.
"As you wish, your humanness." So he opens the box and then he tries to, I guess, detect arcana with this thing.
Yeah. So even as you get close to it, it is pouring out magic. Like you sense just this magic just emanating from it, but there's something else just underneath it that's kind of like hiding.
Mm-hmm.
But you've had time to really focus on it, and you just, I don't know what it is, but what do you want to do? Do you want to grab it?
Mm.
While he's stuffing around with that, with the king, I sort of squat down and I want to go through Malcolm's pockets to try and find the contract.
All right. Mm-hmm.
You find the contract.
So I'm gonna try and cast Mage Hand.
Yep.
On this dagger to see if an influx of magic might do something.
Yeah. So as you cast Mage Hand and your hand goes to the Mage Hand goes towards it, gets sucked into the blade. And it's kind of like that canister turns a flash of green and then goes back to blue.
By Boromir.
So, Roderick, you've got the contract. What are you going to do?
Oh, cool. I'm going to use stealth to just like slowly like back into the crowd kind of thing.
Cool.
Right.
Go on. Do you want to roll stealth for me with advantage?
Okay. With an advantage, okay, well, there's a 19 plus 5,
All right.
whatever that
You've
is,
kind of
and a
like
17 plus 5.
You've
Yeah.
melted away into the crowd.
Cool.
All right. Mm, all right. So Yark is gonna put down that box again.
Yep.
I mean, he's gonna try and shoot a magic missile at it.
Okay. You shoot. 3 darts appear. You hear the king going, "Oh my goodness, what are you doing?" And the missiles just get sucked into the blade.
All right. So from this point on, do I know what there's kind of a phenomenon called? Is it a certain magic, or do I just know that it kind of stores magic inside it?
Do a history check.
Okay, this is very good. Can I get an advantage because I'm so dwarvenly blacksmithing?
I will. Yes, I'll allow that one.
Okay, first one's a 9, not great, and then a 13, also not great.
The only thing you got is you believe that this is some sort of like ancient magic.
All right.
Yeah. Other than that, you've got nothing. And as you're there studying it, the king kind of pushes you aside and he just picks up the sword. And you can see the color changes to green.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, what was his voice? "There's no problem here." And he throws it at you.
Okay, I'm gonna try to run the fuck away.
You're gonna just let it hang on the ground. It kind of like bounces and skitters along the ground as you kind of like step to the side. And he just says, "Get out of my sight. Just go." And he walks back over, picks up the sword. He detects it, flashes it around, and then sheaves it. He said, as he walks past the other guy, kicks him, he goes, "You guys win this year." And he goes back and sits on his throne with this new sword. So Roderick, you've got the contract.
Yep.
You gotta, like, as far as you know, you just gotta hand it in, and then
Yep.
it saves both of you guys. What do you do now? You kind of just walk away.
Yeah, I was going to head back to the carriage. Yeah.
Yarek.
All right. Well, I'm kind of like mystified of what happened, but mostly because it didn't work out the way Malcolm thought it would.
Correct. Or
So
you don't
like
know.
after, yeah. So like, kind of walks back and tries to find Roderick again,
Cool.
all the while trying to think what happened.
So you guys walk out, and you kind of go out the king's hallway. Walking back, I'm assuming you probably, Roderick, you pick up your drink on the way through off the ground.
Oh, yeah, no, I got another one. I finished that one.
You walk out the portcullis past the gates. There's a bit of festivities out here as well. You go to the office, the whatever office it was before, hand in your contract, and you're done. That's it. Finished.
Nice.
Go your separate ways.
Yeah, I sort of pat him on the shoulder and I'm like, maybe I'll see you again.
Yeah, maybe you will. You stupid long legs.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys. Done.
No worries.